Brand new music. Brand new music. Brand new music.
It's time to take a stand and save our lives. I'm sick of burying all my feelings in isolation. I'm done with absorbing all the beatings. Where's the salvation? We've been drowning for far too long. It's time to take a stand and save our lives. Rise before we fall. There's no more second chances. Do or die. Rise above it all. I felt the wearying sense of failure. I traded everything with a traitor. It's time to take a stand and save our lives. Rise before we fall. There's no more second chances. Do or die. Rise above it all. It's time to take a stand and save our lives. Rise before we fall. There's no more second chances. Do or die. Rise above it It's time to take a stand and save our lives, save our souls. There's no more second chances. Do or die. Rise above it all. It's time to take a stand and save our lives. Rise before we fall. There's no more second chances. Do or die. Rise
97underground.com, Baltimore's pure vinyl worldwide. Saint Asonia, a brand new jam called Above It All. And that kicks off this week's Muay Thai Metal Show. I'm Ron Mano. He is the infamous outlaw, Byron Slade. Welcome to the show, B. Slade. Yep. Hey, that new Saint Asonia, dynamite stuff. Again, called Above It All. It was actually released earlier this summer, aimed to uplift as we face these challenging times.
Yeah, is that Mike Mashak still on guitars for them, I believe?
Yep, Adam Gontier still doing lead vocals. He actually says that it's an anthemic track bolstered by gritty guitars and pounding beats, and it serves as the second song to come from a brand new EP following last year's rocked-up cover of The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. The EP is going to be titled, and I will tell you in 1 second,
There 'tis.
Introvert. It was actually released on July 1st of 2022, so it is out now. New 7-song EP from the band Saint Asonia.
I'll tell you, I heard a sounder back there, Ron. It said brand new music.
So I think that means brand new music.
It's plain English.
You heard it here first at the Muay Thai Metal Show.
Plain English.
All right, so earlier, before we went live on the air, we had the opportunity to interview this new band called Devil's Train, and they're out of Hamburg, Germany.
That's right, Ron. And they're basically Europe's answer to like a Black Label Society / a Dead Daisy style band.
Nice.
So you got ex-Saxon drummer in there, and so that's Germany, and in George Michaels, and you can look at the pronunciation of his name; it's right there. It's Jorg.
Right.
So it's German. So R.D. Leopakis, he's the brainchild of Devil's Train. Now that's your Mystic Prophecy vocalist.
And he's from Greece.
That's right. And he put together this super group. Now, we're going to get into talking about it, but you weren't here for it.
No, from what I understand, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning where they were. So B. Slade had to be in the studio.
Sounds a little extreme.
At like 11 o'clock our time or vice versa, and I had things to do.
Right.
It
you
wasn't
had
my
your
normal
regular
Yeah.
You had your regularly scheduled program.
Right. So I wasn't slotted in for that. So B. Slade ran the interview with guitarist Dan Baun, who's out of Hamburg, Germany, on his own, and we're going to hear that here shortly. So that's exciting stuff, B. Slade, because I know you've taken some flack for your vocal prowess in the past, but you've been working with a vocal coach now, correct?
Ron, I've been, so to speak, how do you say this? I've been tuning my pipes up.
There you go.
But I'll tell you what, it became. So let's backtrack this thing a second.
All right, let's wind it back.
Let's back this up a minute. This whole thing got started because you were the 96 rock guy. You aspired to be a radio guy.
Right.
And you have that,
That radio guy thing.
yeah, what you
97underground.com, Baltimore.
It's the WITI news team with Rockin' Ron Mano.
All right, so anyway, when we started this way back, I was the radio guy. 96 Rock, 97 Underground, 1570 AM.
Right.
B. Slade was
Ron
like
went to
this.
school for this stuff. I just came in the back door, and Ron was like, look, if we're going to do this underground thing, you're going to be my partner.
Right.
You're not my sidekick.
Right.
You're not the color analyst. You're my
Yeah,
partner.
You're half the
Producer.
show.
You're going to bring the music on, and then you're going to speak. Well, I've gotten a lot of flack because I have a terrible accent.
Baltimore accent.
It's a terrible
not that
accent, but
horrible.
also people don't know that B. Slade was in a head-on collision.
That's true, too.
And I have a bolt
Right.
that goes right across my voice box, and it's to get the roll your sounds out of your mouth. It's a little,
Your inflection.
yeah, my jaw, it really, it's a weird sensation. You have to have the neck surgery to understand what I am saying. And I also understand I haven't practiced becoming a radio analyst.
Right.
I never
I'm
really
with ya.
aspired to be a radio analyst. So there's a part of your body language
Right.
that if you're not paying attention to every last detail, you will not sound radio correct, so to speak.
I'm with you. This is a fascinating conversation, B.
Well,
Slade.
it boils down to we're going to get into this Devil's Train interview that you were absent from, and a few minutes ago we previewed that, and you were critiquing my performance.
And B. Slade did an admirable job on his own for the very first time interviewing a relatively, not super well-known, but, well-known enough in the metal world, I would say.
Ron's
Rockstar.
being very generous right now, but we're going to get into it, and we're going to listen to this interview segment coming up, and then we're going to continue listening to more B. Slade give more interviews, and we're going to critique my mistakes along the way.
All right, we could do that. So it's coming up here in about 30 seconds, B. Slade. B. Slade sits down with Devil's Train. They are R.D. Leopakis, George Michael, Jans Becker, and Dan Bond, lead guitarist. That's exactly who B. Slade sits down with. So without any further ado, here it is, B. Slade with Devil's Train right here at 97underground.com.
So this is Byron Slade with the Muay Thai Metal Show. My compadre, Rockin' Ron Mano, couldn't make it in the studio today for this very special moment. We are sitting down with Dan Baun. He's the lead guitar player for the heavy metal rock band Devil's Train. They're streaking up the charts. You can catch them in Helsinki, Finland, Stockholm, Sweden, Oslo, Norway, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Hamburg, Denmark, and now in the studio on 97 Underground, Mr. Dan Baun. How are you doing today?
Hey, Byron. It's so great to be here, man. Thank you so much for having me on. It's amazing to be here. Thank you. How are you today?
I'm great, and thank you for calling in. Dan's calling us from Germany. Where exactly in Germany are you?
I'm in the north, close to a town called Bremen, which is close to Hamburg, let's say, close to the coast.
Wow, that's exciting. So let's get the rundown on Devil's Train. Dan, you work with R.D. Leopakis, George Michael. He's the drummer. He's an ex-Saxon drummer, ex-Stradivarius. You also have Jens Becker on bass, ex-Gravedigger member. This is quite a lineup. Tell me about these guys.
Yeah, they're fantastic to work with. I mean, Jens still plays for Gravedigger. He has done since like the late 90s or something. But Jens and Jörg, so the bass player and the drummer, used to be in Running Wild together back in the 80s when they were both like really young, and they haven't played together since. So for them to get together and play on this album was it was kind of rejuvenating for them. It was a great time to revisit their youth and get intense with each other, So yeah, that's those two.
How about RD?
Are you still on the line? Sorry, I was. Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm on the line.
Cool. All good, buddy. Sorry, you were quiet, so I was like, oh, I hope you didn't drop. No, it's all good. So yeah, and Leah, RD Leopakis, the singer. We call him Leah for short. He and I have been on the same record company with different bands for a number of years, and we've always enjoyed each other's work from afar and sort of, had common interests and common vibes and stuff like that. But we'd never managed to work together. So this was such a great opportunity for me to finally work with him, because I really like what he does, and we enjoy each other's songwriting. We wrote everything together on this album, so it's been really kind of fun and organic, for everybody working together.
I agree with that 100%. I will tell you what, this album is generating a lot of buzz in the rock industry. The album is very cool. It has great grooves. It draws you in. I can't stop listening to it. I'll tell you what, it was just released June 24th. This album is only 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
What is the vibe you're getting from the audience?
I mean, yeah, it's been super positive so far. I get very surprised about, the feedback, the positive feedback, the interest we got from certain countries, countries like Greece or like the US as well. I knew, I think my assumption was always that there would be loads of bands that sound like us. In the US still, because we, our songwriting is very American, like in sort of a late 80s American style. Mm-hmm. But I suppose there's not many younger bands maybe that do that kind of songwriting anymore, and so maybe that's why it's interesting for you guys as well, because I know, the scene has moved on and people do other stuff these days, and we just like, we like classic stuff, and we like riffs, and we like solos, and we like good choruses, we like melodic rock, so that's what we do.
I'll tell you, I couldn't agree more that, in America, it's gotten kind of flat here with the songwriting, but coming out of Europe,
you think, huh?
Yeah, it's gotten kind of flat, and how do we get the youth of America? How do we get the youth to just get back on their guitars and give us what Devil's Train can give us? Because this album has it all.
That's a big question. Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things, isn't it, where I think, I don't want to get too deep into this, but if you have an industry that's based on, on algorithms that recommend you shit that sounds like other shit you already like, You don't give bands an incentive to have an original sound. You give bands an incentive to sound like something else, and that's what we've had for 10 years now, and that's why those are the kind of bands that you see now. So for me, it's always been very hard to stay on that road, I suppose, because I've always said no. Sod it, fuck this. I'm going to do my own thing. So, and I think you have to be a very stubborn sort of person to do that, and I get it why many people, and especially young people, get persuaded to do otherwise, if that sort of answers your question.
And it answers my question. And to keep on that same track, though, you are from Germany, is that correct? Is that where you reside? That's where you live?
Yeah. I mean, I've sort of been all over Europe and stuff. I've spent some time in Canada, but I've got an English mom and a German dad, so I've been most of my time I've spent in Germany and the UK.
Right.
Yeah, but I live in Germany now.
There you have it. If it's not Judas Priest, it's Accept. If it's not Accept, it's the Scorpions. If it's not the Scorpions, it's Creator. You have a massive amount of great rock artists right around you at all times. So it's no wonder that you are so well defined. I tell you, your riffs are great. I think it's time.
Thank you.
I think it's time we give the fans at home "You Promise Me Love."
Sure.
You say we spin that right now and give them a taste of Devil's Train.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the brand new release from Devil's Train right here on 97underground.com.
Worldwide. Drawn the line. I try to find to know this troubled mind. You are my faith, but never it's too late. I would try one more in another day. I don't know why you have drawn the line. Babe, you be mine. You promised me love, love. Promise through your window. The stars in the sky, babe, our love will never die. You promised me love, love, running to the willow. You're the flower in my life, yeah. I need you to survive, baby.
Oh my God.